Greetings YouTube, Thurs here, welcome to another Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition video, and today something a little bit different. I'm going to be comparing how quickly the game runs on a solid state drive compared to a traditional hard drive, and hopefully this video will help you make an informed decision as to whether this is going to be worth the 85 gigabytes of solid state storage for your particular situation. And once I've gone ahead and made the comparison and we can see the difference in loading times and other bits, then I'm going to give you a tutorial on how you can actually move the game itself, the whole game folder, onto your solid state drive without having to re-download anything again. Though I should say that's only going to apply for those of you that are playing the Steam edition of the game, which I suspect is most of you. But I don't have the Origin or Microsoft Store version of the game, so I can't show you with that, unfortunately. But if you do enjoy this video, guys, please don't forget to support me by leaving a like on it and posting a comment, let me know what you think, and please be subscribed to my gaming channel. Okay, so for this comparison, I'm going to start with the loading screen that you get when you load a save game, and I'm going to make sure that we do this fairly. So I've clicked load on both the hard drive and the solid state drive at the same time. And what this is I recorded the footage on the hard drive first, then I moved the game over to solid state drive and recorded it again. But all the settings are the same, the save file the same, everything else is identical. It's literally just the drive that we're running off here. So we can already see the solid state drive is racing off ahead, leaving the hard disk drive in the dust over there, in the dust over there on the left hand side. And we're just about to load here with the SSD, so I am timing this on my iPhone so we can get a good idea of the difference here. And I'll go ahead and any second now, nearly there. I haven't edited this footage at all apart from splitting the screen. So we got there in 44 seconds, give or take half a second or so. So the load time from loading a save game from the main menu after a fresh boot of the game was 44 seconds on the solid state drive. And one thing as well that I have noticed is that there's a heck of a lot less stuttering when you have loaded. I didn't really get a good footage of this because I wasn't expecting it, but the solid state drive, the game runs really smoothly from the moment it's loaded, whereas on the hard disk drive when I ran it before, it would actually run for about a minute or 2 minutes after loading with a lot of stutter, at least a lot more stutter than I'm getting now. So the good thing about solid state is once you've loaded, the game is actually loaded and it's not accessing files in the same way that it does on the hard disk drive, or at least it's accessing them quicker. But even so, we're still waiting for the hard disk drive here. And again, I have not edited this footage at all. We're on 1 minute and 45 seconds now. So this is much longer. There's a huge difference already we can see with running the game off SSD compared to hard disk. And just to clarify again, there's no other difference in this comparison apart from the drive that the game is running off. It looks like we're about to load here, so I'm going to get ready to stop the timer any moment now. Any moment. There we go, stop. 2 minutes and 8 seconds and 58. So 2 minutes and 9 seconds or thereabouts. And I do notice as well there's a little bit more stutter, at least for the first 30 to 60 seconds having loaded the game. It's not terrible, but there is a difference which you can notice. Okay, so that is the longest load time you have to put up with anyway. But what about just in the general day-to-day loading when you're playing the game, such as using fast travel? Well, let's test that out. We'll go from Wiz's Chocobo post here, and we'll travel over to Hammerhead, and we'll see how this compares. So this is what I call the day-to-day loading of Final Fantasy 15. And we'll start that at the same time again, that load. And we'll see how this compares. So this will be less than the load we just did. So the solid state drive, as you can see, is much faster in this situation when we're just travelling around the game here. Although we have got a little bit of wait there. Okay,
hey, who's up for a bite?
Okay, so that was 21 seconds. Sorry, 21.72, so call it 22 seconds. And we're just waiting for the hard disk drive here to finish. And we're currently on 38 seconds. So it looks like it's at least double. And we're nearly there now. Stop. 46 seconds. So 22 seconds for SSD compared with 46 seconds for the hard disk drive. So that is quite a substantial difference, I would say then. Whether or not that's going to be worth it for you is obviously going to depend on numerous factors. Okay, so this is where we're going to move on to the tutorial part of the video. So I'm assuming that you've installed Final Fantasy 15 on your normal standard mechanical hard drive, and you want to move it from that onto your solid state drive without having to either reinstall the game, re-download the game, or reinstall Steam, or affect any of your other Steam games. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. One thing to note is that the game itself does occupy 85 gigabytes of data, so you need to make sure that you have this available on your solid state drive that you're moving the game to. And it's also recommended that you have at least 10% of your solid state drive, or any drive for that matter, capacity always free. So for a 500 gig drive, which is what I'm using for solid state, I always want to have at least 50 gigabytes free regardless of what I put on the drive. So 135 gigabyte minimum in my situation is going to be needed. I've got 176, that's fine. Okay, so now that I'm happy with my SSD, I'm going to head to Steam, go to the Steam menu up here at the top left corner and select Settings, just above the exit button. And then with the downloads option selected here, I'm going to go ahead and select this top option so we can sort out a new Steam library. So we're going to select this button here, and we're going to create a whole new library here by selecting the solid state drive. And then you can actually put this anywhere on the solid state drive, but for consistency I'm going to go ahead and select this drive, make a new folder, and that will be called Steam Library automatically. And once we click accept, we can see we've got the new drive set up, so the new library set up. And what we need to do now is move our game installation into the new library. So right click on the game and select Properties, and then go over to the Local Files tab, and then select Move to New Library. So we'll click that, and then it's automatically going to select the other library we created. So we'll keep it on that selection, which is the C drive in my particular situation. So we'll confirm that. And now this can take a while, okay? This is where we need to be patient. We are, after all, going to be moving 85 gigabytes of files and folders, so we do just need a little bit of patience for this progress bar to fill. So I'll go ahead and cut the video at this point. And hello once more. So I've skipped ahead here. So it took about 30 minutes for this progress bar to fill up. It's just about to finish. And a little bit of a tip or piece of advice for you is ignore the ETA that it gives you. At one point it told me there was 2 days and 13 hours remaining for that, which caused a little bit of a panic in me because I didn't want to wait that long to make the video, but fortunately it did sort itself out, and as I say, it took about 30 minutes. Once that's done, it will take about another 5-10 minutes for the game to, for Steam to just update the files, making sure that everything's in the right place. I think it does an integrity check here. So it'll look like it's downloading something, but it's not actually downloading from the internet at this point. So you just have to be patient. This took about 10 minutes as well, but once this part is complete, once the game has finished updating in Steam, then it's good to go. The game has moved over to your SSD, and you'll notice those improved loading times, and hopefully just generally improved game performance as well. Alright then folks, well I've actually got the game running on SSD now, and apart from the main game, one of the other ways that the speed is going to be improved is when we play the multiplayer expansion Comrades. And the reason for that is there's so many loading times and loading screens in this game as you go through the various hunts and what have you, that just having the SSD usable for this particular expansion is going to be worth it in and of itself, in my opinion. It just makes things so much better playing Comrades off an SSD than it does a mechanical hard drive. But it's not just the fact that we're playing Comrades. Of course, as we saw, the main game itself is also going to be improved running off the SSD. And when you are running off an SSD, guys, however frustrated you get with the loading screens at that point, just always try to remind yourself that you would be waiting 2 to 3 times longer every single time had you kept the game on your normal traditional hard drive. But anyway, folks, that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of this video. So please let me know in the comments below what you think of this, and whether you are going to be playing the game on a solid state drive, or whether the 85 gigs of storage, of solid state storage, just isn't going to be worth the effort for you, and if you're going to keep the game on a traditional mechanical big storage hard drive, as I had been doing up until this point, but I have now made the switch, and in my opinion, after a little bit of testing, it is going to be worth it. But thanks for stopping by today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and that it's been helpful to you. If it has, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and come and check out the live streams as well. We do live stream Final Fantasy 15 from time to time, and the Comrades expansion as well, and we do have a laugh in chat and what have you. So there we go then, guys. That's just about to load. I'm going to finish off the video at this point and say thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.